What's up?
How are you?
All good?
Hey Tom, how are you? Sit down, sit down. Let's grab a drink. I heard you guys have some great news. You had some great news recently, right? So the talking going like this.
Yeah.
So I decided to give you a call and have a chat. Do you have time to chat?
Yeah, no problem. Of course.
Nice. Let's like there's a room that's a bit more quiet. So let's go there maybe.
All right.
You okay?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Just lead the way.
You guys come in, sit down. I have my notepad here. I have a few questions for you guys. I know you're very surprised. Hi guys, I'd like to introduce you Parsiq. We have Martin here and Tom. So they are co-founders and they are doing different things in the company. And I'll give a minute to Martin to explain what he's doing in the company.
Yeah, so we're both co-founders. Tom is the CEO. I deal with expansion and let's say public outreach. That's it.
Today I'll be your, I don't know, psychiatrist or something. I'm going to try to ask you the most intimate questions possible, right? So I'm going to have my, not intimate. Yeah, well, we'll see. So yeah, as I said, congratulations. You've been listed on OKEx. So Martin, what do you think? Is it like a game changer for you guys or who's next? Like what's the next move?
You know, I think it's just the beginning. So we haven't even started yet. It's a great start starting from OKEx. But yeah, we have much more interesting news to come. So yeah.
So you're excited. Okay, I can't really see any excitement. See you're a bit nervous. Sorry for the camera and sucker punching you into this interview. But anyway, you said it's just the first move. But can you go back a little and maybe say how you guys met, or how did the project come about to become what it is today?
So quite a while ago, blockchain was already a thing. We've been looking into all the blockchain data and seeing that there is plenty of interesting information inside a blockchain mempool, and that you could actually build some certain actions on top of that information. And then we talked to Andrew. He's also a co-founder, and we decided that we should definitely do something with it. First, it started as a very simple, with a few very simple use cases. But then, we came to Tom, and then we started building. And then we brought Anatoly into the game. Anatoly is our chief blockchain architect. And then, then we escalated the idea quite significantly.
Oh yeah, I've seen Anatoly. I think he's the most memed person in your channel and the group, right? Yeah. Well, we're gonna touch on memes a bit later in this whole culture. I wanted to ask Tom, like, how you met the guys and what was your perspective, and why were you excited to join the project?
Right, so I was introduced to Martin and Andrea back in 2018, and they were already involved in the blockchain industry and in crypto. For me, it was all new, but it had the potential to disrupt so many industries. I wanted to go deep into it, and so we discussed what we could do together, and we found that the blockchain data industry is the niche that's still untapped. We met Anatoly, and he basically helped us form the vision for the product that it is today.
So now let's talk the real deal, right? People want to know. Tell me, do you guys drive Lambos?
Nope. There's no need for that.
How come?
I think we're so busy in the office that we don't drive at all. We just walk, sleep, work, and that's it. Maybe sometimes go to sauna.
To sauna?
Sauna, yes.
Is it also in the office?
It's either in the forest, somewhere in the wooden house, or some spa.
Okay, so, but how does your office look like? How many people are working in the company, or is it like a very cool office, I don't know, somewhere in a tower? In a
castle, yeah.
In a castle, no.
No, definitely not in a castle. We don't have like one single office. And I think during the COVID, everybody understood that working remotely is the thing. So we have people in California, we have people in China, we have people in Hong Kong, Estonia, Latvia. So literally there's quite many different places where people operate. We have more than 25 people. Yeah, somewhere around 25 people. But there's a lot of people who work for us indirectly, and let's say quite many people who work temporarily for us.
And like part-time as well. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Tom, so yeah, I hear, and Martin just explained that you're trying to hire really passionate people, I suppose, and some of them might lack the experience, but you know, they're very eager, and the guys are very different. Like Anatoly is very technical, very creative. He has a lot of ideas, but maybe sometimes he lacks direction. It's how I see it. But the other guys, they're, you know, very straightforward, no bullshit. So how do you manage people?
All people are very different, and they all have their specifics and their issues, but it's important to find the right approach to each of them and to find the right communication. Just because we have hired such a dedicated and passionate team that they all have one goal, which is to grow Parsiq, and that's why we never have any problems, despite the fact that everyone is different.
As Tom mentioned, one of the most important things is to attract talented developers, talented people, talented marketers. It's pretty difficult to find everyone in one place. Obviously, the mentality is quite different from each of the developers have their own mentality, marketers have their own mentality. People, let's say in Eastern Europe, has very, let's say, straightforward approach. People in US have more creative approach. What I see, what is lacking in terms of the workforce is people who want to innovate. So most people, they just want to work. They don't care like about any performance. They just come to work, do their job, and they just leave, right? So that's not an option for us. We really need to disrupt the market. We really need to find innovators, and yeah, I think that's important.
So where do you find them?
Usually, I find through some connections, so common connections. So third-party intros are the best. Obviously, if we search them through some internet, there is some hiring companies or like hiring websites. To be honest, it's pretty bad because people there, they just, I mean, if they couldn't find a job already, if nobody wants them, especially in the blockchain industry that is very, very, let's say, niche for now, then there is no point to look at it.
And can you tell a story of the craziest hire that you had, maybe? You mentioned you have connections, you know. I know you're a very well-connected guy and you've been to quite a few parties, and I've been to quite a few blockchain parties. So do you find people there, like, I don't know, drinking vodka at a bar? Or just tell us like one crazy story of hiring.
Over some period of time, obviously, we've been traveling quite a lot, been living in different places around the world, dealing with a few industries. Also in IT, there's been a lot of crazy hires, but I think regarding Parsiq, Anatoly hire was quite interesting. So flying from FIFA, the football in Russia, the championship, world championship, flying to Korea and getting to know a few people on the board of the plane. Didn't sleep at all. We talked all 8 hours, 9 hours that we were flying to Korea. I kind of helped out guys in Korea because I knew a few people down there. And then asked the guys if they know some talented developers. And these guys were from Latvia, so they made an intro to Anatoly. So literally to find Anatoly, we had to go to Korea, go through hell there. It was great, but it was quite intensive. There was like every day, like 10 different events. To be honest, I'm not much of an event guy. I like, let's say, more private gatherings, but it was a good investment. So later on we met with Anatoly, and straight away he liked our idea because he's been into data quite a long time, and he really nailed it, and he understood our problem, and he understood the problem in the industry. And this is why we have such a good click with the guys.
I think we need a refill, so just hang on. I'm gonna bring something. You guys have been funded a bit by Binance, right? To develop something on their Binance Smart Chain. Is that something similar to OKEx chain, or what are your plans in terms of integrating with the chain? I know you're running something there. So can you tell us a bit more?
So Parsiq is blockchain agnostic. So that means we intend to integrate and support all major chains that have any activity, and that includes our work with Binance Smart Chain, because they have a lot of developer activity and they supported us in terms of funding. And the same goes for OKEx chain. OKEx is a big organization with a lot of adoption, with a large ecosystem and community. So obviously developers will utilize this chain, they will build on top of it. And I think by Parsiq supporting the OKEx chain, it will solve a lot of pain points for developers. They can build on-chain to off-chain applications easily without hosting any nodes, without spending unnecessary development resource time.
So would you say if I use Parsiq and I get really familiar with that, I can basically integrate to any chain that is on your platform? Is that correct?
That's one of the value propositions of Parsiq, because different blockchains have different events inside of them, and you have to have knowledge of each blockchain to be able to build upon it. And we standardize everything into one language. So that means that developer doesn't have to know the specifics and the intricacies of all these different chains. They can start building right away.
So it's something similar to Zapier, right? If you know Zapier.
We have been called the Zapier for blockchains.
Okay.
It doesn't quite cover the full picture of what Parsiq is capable of, but you can, draw some parallels, because what Zapier does, it connects different applications between each other to automate certain workflows. And we connect different decentralized systems with each other and with centralized apps, devices, and components to bridge the gap between these new innovative decentralized chains and the legacy systems, the centralized systems that the rest of the world uses. And it removes the unnecessary friction and allows you to automate everything.
So Martin, I think you're the guy to ask about the DeFi waves and the alt season, so-called. Do you think it's a good time to invest in Ethereum or Bitcoin, or is it better to actually consider this being an alt season and really go for some other tokens, like the smaller market cap ones?
I don't think there is a good time. If you go for a long term, you can invest literally into anything that works. And Ethereum proved that it works. Regarding DeFi, I think the real use of the smart contracts has only just started. Like, people didn't realize what smart contracts can do before. They were quite sloppy. And I think right now, like, we see a bunch of new applications built on top of smart contracts, like Aave, like Compound. There's quite a few others. And I think the use cases for the smart contracts are just getting started at the enterprise level. Obviously, enterprises will take more time to adopt it, but we will see quite soon an adoption of the smart contracts by the enterprises. And I think further down the line, they will be trying to collaborate within the DeFi sector. I can bring you an example. So there's huge companies who provide loans, right? So there's working like 1,000 people. One smart contract can do all of what they are doing. And blockchain can solve all their issues.
Wait. So you're trying to steal other people's jobs, get them fired and redundant?
That's not true. It's a process. So people have to learn new things. So they will have to learn how to deal with smart contracts. There will still need to be people who check, let's say, the data, because we cannot fully rely on everything that is out there. Though blockchain is secure, though the streams that are happening with blockchain are also secure and they're quite accurate, but there is still being needed people to actually manage it.
Oh, it's very cool. Actually, you mentioned a few concepts, especially the security of blockchain applications. There's been a hack, or many hacks actually, on different exchanges, and I know that you guys suffered from one of the attacks. Maybe you, Tom, can tell us about how you guys dealt with hacks, like firsthand. So tell us the story.
Blockchain is secure, but it's always the human factor that sometimes fails and assets get stolen. So a good example before, I think it was in September, when KuCoin was hacked, over 150 million worth of assets stolen.
280.
Yeah, a lot. That was a lot.
280 million in Ethereum, Bitcoin, or
Ethereum and various tokens.
Okay.
I mean, there were over 100 token projects that were listed there that suffered hacks, and those tokens were stolen. And we actually helped multiple of them to restore the balances to their holders by helping them take snapshots at the exact moment of the hack, and to help them hard fork the smart contract and restore the balances to everyone except the hacker. But a few weeks later, we found ourselves in a similar situation. Coinmetro exchange was hacked, and since Parsiq PRQ was listed on Coinmetro, about over 3% of Parsiq's circulating supply was stolen by the hacker. So those were very turbulent times.
3% that was circulating on the exchange, or the whole total supply?
Whole total circulating supply. So that's quite a significant amount. So we had to make some decisions, some difficult decisions. But I think given the circumstances, we did the best that we could. So the risks were that first of all, the people who got their assets stolen would have been left without money. Second problem was the hacker had a significant amount of tokens. He could suppress the price and also take all the Ethereum from the people providing liquidity on Uniswap. And to mitigate all this, we implemented the same technology that we did for the projects in the KuCoin hack. And we did a snapshot, we did a hard fork, we restored the balances to everyone except for the hacker. Additionally, we got validation that our technology works in these instances of hacks to mitigate damage, because our technology allowed to alert Coinmetro and save most of the assets on the hot wallets. Only a small portion got stolen, but unfortunately, within that small portion was the PRQ token.
It's a bit complex. I see you're transforming into Anatoly in my eyes at the moment. It's a very technical, great example. I think all the community will understand it. But for me, I think losing my money on a blockchain or on like project or an exchange is something that stops people from mass adoption. When they think about banks, they think, okay, my deposit is secure, nothing can happen. If my money gets stolen, I get compensated by the insurance company or whatever, while you're basically telling, look, the new era can be the same for blockchain, right? If we, make smart decisions and employ smart technology, then it's possible as well. Martin, so what do you think is real-life application? Because I had a chat with a few of my hedge fund managers that I know who started investing into crypto, and the issue that they face is actually accounting and admin. So they need to report multiple transactions, but they don't really want to do it, and they automate. And they mentioned that your solution, or a solution that links the off-chain and the off-chain apps, right, can be valuable. Is that correct, or do you have a solution for people from accounting, let's say?
Yeah, there is actually quite many applications to that, and I think for hedge funds or anyone who deals with any type of financial models or financial information, that's pretty interesting. So using Parsiq, you can literally manage and manipulate any data streams. So any data streams that happen in the blockchain, we can get them, let's say, through the webhooks to some certain other services. We can get them through Google Sheets. So you could get like proper accounting methods, so you can calculate turnovers, whatever. Parsiq is much more than that. Overall, our system allows you to take a stream on the fly, and multiple streams, like an unlimited amount, and then enrich them with the third-party data. So you could attach, let's say, risk scores, you can attach price feeds, you can use oracles, you can use literally anything. And for now, we're doing that in blockchain. But quite soon, we'll show how this works outside of blockchain.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty complex. That's why I have my pen and paper here, the notepad, because I need to write down a few things to learn a bit more. Now you started to sound like Anatoly, and I think I need a drink to understand a bit more what you were talking about. So cheers. Cheers. I suppose that's the first drunk interview on camera for YouTube that you're having. I wanted to ask like a fun thing, just to change the subject a little bit. I noticed that you guys have a lot of memes in your group, right? You're like crazy on memes. I don't know if you're producing them yourselves actually, or is it the community? The second part of the question would be, which memes are your favorite ones? Can you maybe show us or tell or shout out to the community, like to your favorite meme makers?
Yeah, we have the best memes made by our community. I mean, the most are probably of Anatoly, but almost all are very good. Maybe a shout out to Axel F from our community, who makes really the most impressive memes. I always laugh at them.
Okay, I'll have to look it up. I hope this interview is gonna create some positive memes. that would be fun. Hopefully not of me, I don't know. But maybe one of the last things that I wanted to ask. So imagine I'm a newbie, right? So I've just came to crypto. I don't know where to start, but I really wanna join a high-tech company and start with blockchain or something. How can I get hired? How could I join your company? Like, who are you looking for?
It's pretty difficult just for a newbie to just start at a blockchain, but everyone who is ready to learn and everyone who is ready to learn at night and ready to learn 24/7, I think they can manage their job. Because within the crypto, one day is like a week. So yeah, people who are working hardcore, who are really interested into the thing, who invest their time into it, I think they could possibly live there. But yeah, I mean, to start, I think the people need to at least understand the basics.
I know a very big topic is diversity. So how many women do you have working for you guys?
I mean, on developer side, none yet, but we're looking for.
If there is a female developer, then she has high chances because you're obviously a progressive company and you want to have diversity. Is that correct?
Correct. I think it's interesting, and sometimes women work more than men. If you look at Africa, men don't work at all. Women bring all the food at home. They deal with kids, they deal with family, they go to shopping. The men, they don't do much. So let's say if we're going to do our step into Africa and the emerging markets, then women will be possibly one of the most interesting people to hire there.
I might see why you would want to move to Africa, right?
No, not because of that. I think it's a very promising market, and they're growing rapidly, and the blockchain use case is quite big there. Let's say it's not big, but it's quite significant.
So you've mentioned connections previously, right? So would you say connections help a lot because blockchain industry is relatively new, right? And it's very hard to find either talent or maybe get to speak to the right people in the government or regulation. So what do you think about having great connections or not having them? Is that a deal breaker for a project?
I think it definitely helps, but I would say the talent beats any connections. Like if the team is talented, it can beat anything. Like we started this company without any big backing, any big names. The reason for that was that we just wanted to build first like a ready application that works and show people that we're doing a little bit different than anyone else. Like 2017, literally a website could get like $50 million. We wanted to bring something real, people to touch, to see, and then only then move further. And obviously we were just busy building, so we didn't go and try to raise funds from funds. Like there was no need for that. And the right people, they came across. Like the right people, let's say the most smartest people are sharing few groups in the world and they know each other, and obviously if something interesting is being developed, they know. And so people keep an eye on you.
Tom, maybe one of the few questions that I have left for you. You mentioned some tough decisions. Did you have to make any tough decisions like firing any people, or when you felt that they couldn't, add value, or maybe the values were not there or something like that? Maybe partners that you had to let go who were dragging you down?
Yeah, obviously we've have ended relationships with some employees and some partners within the course of the last few years, and it's never easy. Even those people with whom it didn't work out, they are all like understanding, and it always ends amicably. So no problems there.
At the moment, you guys are more or less successful, and I've noticed that there are some scammers, like some scam groups trying to mimic that it's like a Parsiq community group, or pretend that, you know, some...
That is unavoidable in this crypto industry. I mean, where there moves money, and when there is opportunity to take that money from other people, the scammers will always be there.
So do you have any advice to people not to get scammed, because you guys help with hacks?
The most obvious advice is that no team, no project, no serious project will ever ask you for your money, for your funds, never ever. Since we created the company and the project during the bear market, we started to conceptualize it in 2018 and started building in 2019, both difficult years in the crypto industry. I mean, we didn't raise the hard cap on our IEO, but despite this fact, I think we did very well during the bear market conditions. We just kept building. If you focus on this, we kept building throughout the bear market when a lot of the projects, they closed down, and this is the result right now. We have actual adoption. We have a product, we have a community, we have users, we have clients. That's the result of just focusing and being dedicated and building throughout the bear market.
Yeah, bear market was quite fun. I remember before that, during the first or was the second wave, you could just raise 50 million by just buying banner ads, and I would see people depositing 500,000 after just seeing banner once. So they would see the banner, they would click, and then in Google Analytics you could see that they've transferred 500K so in tokens. So definitely that wasn't the case during your time. I started my portfolio, we were discussing Lambos, so I don't want a Lambo, but I'm thinking about a Tesla, right? So I've allocated around $3,000, right, that I can invest into tokens, right? And I think I'm gonna be asking advice from guys like you. So imagine that my goal is to buy a Tesla in, say, 6 months' time, right? And I have $150 to invest, right, into a single asset. So Tom, which token should I buy today?
Probably, I won't give financial advice.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just gonna have like a degenerate trader portfolio based on different advice, and then we'll see if it works out. Like different people are gonna give me advice, and then we'll see if I buy a Lambo in 6 months or not.
No, I won't give you specific advice, but I'm gonna give you like a high-level general advice. So the market has matured a lot since 2017. What I do is I invest my personal money into projects, into real projects that solve real-world problems, that have adoption, that have users, and I think that's the way to go. You can't go wrong with those.
Okay, so but if I just pick my phone up and like just scroll through different tickers, which one should I click? Is it somewhere in the DeFi, right? Or maybe it's like a protocol, or where should I look? I'm just gonna pick one from the category, or maybe it should be I don't know, Bitcoin, Ethereum.
I'd say infrastructure is a smart segment.
Okay, you're very cheeky. You're not saying where to invest, but I'll look into infrastructure. So, what about you, Martin? If you can give me a specific token, because I really need a Tesla, right, to pick up checks, of course. So, where should I invest my $150? And I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy it.
As Tom mentioned, we're not financial advisors, so we cannot suggest you where to invest. And I think I'll have just one suggestion: just follow the tech. Follow the tech that is going to be there tomorrow. There's quite many interesting companies out there that prove that their tech works. Just follow the news and follow the tech.
So which ones are that? Like Dell or IBM? But that's not blockchain.
That's not blockchain. So look for Dell and IBM in the blockchain.
So who would that be? Like, can you give like a hint, like the market cap?
Just personal projects that I like. I think Solana. So Solana, Aave is interesting. though it has to prove itself more. There is Polkadot. So funds like Layer 1 solutions.
Layer 1. Okay, yeah, I've met with Polkadot guys actually 2 years ago.
The funds like the Layer 1 solutions because they're kind of the most scalable, as people say. But as Tom mentioned, the most interesting projects, in my opinion, is the infrastructure projects. So look for a Layer 0 and something that would jump on a Layer 2.
Any shout outs? Do you want to say thanks to someone?
Well, I'd like to thank all of our community. We have a lot of hardcore supporters, loyal supporters who have helped us advance as a project, and it's grown a lot, the size of our community. So they are the essential pillar for our growth and expansion as well, because they help us spread the word. I love our community, it's the best.
Thanks a lot. And of course, as I said, we're gonna go grab a cigar now, right?
Yeah, correct. Cheers.